Everybody. Hope you liked that little Halloween to get us in the mood, and hope you also like these costumes on the computer that Olivia and I are wearing. I was wishing I had some real bunny ears to welcome you with. Welcome to your Let's Talk office hours and welcome to the spooky season. For those of you that don't know me, I am Sharon. I'm a senior client success manager here at K-12 Insight, and I'm going to be guiding us through today's session. With me today, I have Olivia from our marketing team. She has some cute little ghost earrings on. She's going to be helping manage the chat and the polls. So as questions come in, definitely pop them in the chat. I will kind of be monitoring them, but she'll be able to help answer some questions or kind of chime in and let me know that we have a question. Olivia is the mastermind behind our new learning center, toolkits that you've used, those emails that you receive, and a lot of the resources that you use on a daily basis. If your district is ever feeling as though they need a specific resource, let us know. Olivia and her team can help us build those. In fact, a lot of those that you use, if you've ever seen that little cheat sheet on what to do if you're a brand new Let's Talk user that you can print out and keep at your desk, it was her and her team that helped us put those together. So we are always here to help make your lives easier and get you materials that you need. So as always, I want to welcome us back with a poll. Olivia's going to help us out. We want to know, since we're here for some tricks and treats, are you going to be celebrating Halloween? Like, yes, maybe you're one of those people that is, I am so in, I love it. Maybe you're one of those people that's like, nope, not for me, too spooky. Or if you're like me, you might only be celebrating because you have a 3-year-old who is pumped for it and wants to be celebrating that way. We're split. 50-50. Oh, it's kind of, yeah, we're back to 50-50. Oh, I got somebody in the group who's celebrating it only because they have to. I will say having a kid makes it a little bit more fun and brings that magic in. She's going to be a blue dinosaur. He's very, very excited. So to get us in the spooky mood, today is all about tricks and treats to help make your Let's Talk experience a little less scary. We're going to be going over some features that aren't new, but might have something associated with them that you didn't know existed, or hopefully do. Hopefully you're going to walk away today feeling like you learned a few new things. First up, we're going to touch on our form builder. It's been a little while since we've talked about this, and we're not going to actually dive into how to build forms. Instead, we're going to chat about templates that are already in there for you to use so you can help streamline your workflows and increase your efficiencies. We're also going to be going over one of those specific templates, which is used to launch a gratitude campaign. I recommend launching one of these for the upcoming holiday season to help spread some cheer to our staff. Next up, we're going to take a look at our chatbot. If you're not using this yet, now is a great time to get on board so it's ready for our 2025 year. Can't believe we're approaching that. We're also going to chat through our completeness report so you can see how your chatbot is stacked up with the most common categories and questions being asked across the nation. And then most recently, we launched the option to have multiple chatbot profiles. We're going to go over what that is, where to find them, how to use them. And then we're going to wrap up showing you our free text and phone lines, and give you a high level overview of our call center. Oh, Jeff, thank you. Let me move my hair. Sometimes that helps. If we continue, Olivia, ping me if my sound keeps going in and out. Hopefully these are okay.
I think you sound good on my end, but we'll keep an eye out.
Perfect. Thank you. Keep me posted. Okay. So before we dive into the platform, about a year ago, we launched the ability for you to build custom forms. Previously in the past, our engineers would be able to do it for you, but we knew that you needed to have some more customization to get what you need. It also helps you gather that information that you need from a customer from the get-go, so you're not having to have that back and forth. If you are a district that has information in the introduction message of your form asking for required information, and I know there's some of you out there, it's okay, but let's go ahead and get that into a form because chances are people are missing that information. You're having to go back and ask them for it. So let's go ahead and actually hop into our platform. Right now, we're going to be spending our time in the settings section. And then we're even going to hop into our form section. This can be found under your account setup on the left-hand side. Now, for me today, I'm in our model community school district. So I have a bunch of forms that have been pre-built down below. That's because our entire company uses this Let's Talk platform. We're using it for demos, for building things for districts if they want to see something before we go live. If you've never been in here before, yours is going to look blank down below where it says forms. You're just going to have this default form, and that's okay. This will come to life as you're using it. As you can see, there's a ton of things that you can do to customize. You can contact the office of the superintendent. You can say, I have an academic data request. Maybe you need some IT help. All sorts of different options. For us today, we're going to be looking at these templates up above. Now, when you first log in, you might be thinking, oh, there's only 3. Why is she so excited to show me this? If you go ahead and click on View More, we actually have 8 that have been pre-built in here. These are the most common forms that we were building for districts before we gave you the option to build your own. These can easily be plug and play, and you can use them however you'd like. You can use them exactly how they are, or we can make small adjustments. I'll hop in and show you those little things, but we're not going to build a full one out together. Now, what we're going to look at is this share good news, because next we're going to talk about doing a gratitude campaign. So in here, as you're scrolling down, we've gone through and we have already assigned some questions and built a few in here. Now, there are some that we've even hidden. In our common out-of-the-box form, you have that question of what are you submitting? Is it a question? Is it a compliment? Is it a concern? We have all these different options. We've gone ahead and we've actually hidden that. So as a customer is submitting this, they don't have to select that, and we're going to assume that it's a compliment. So in your dashboard, that's how this will be reflected. We've gone ahead and we've hidden the subject line and pre-populated that because we know what they're submitting. We've even pre-selected who our customers are going to be. Now, as I continue to scroll down, we have gone ahead and customized what it is that we're wanting to know that our customers are sharing about. Is it a powerful moment? Is it an inspiring person or people? Where are they sharing this about? Is it a person, a school, or a department? Now, let's say if you didn't want somebody to short text in and you wanted them to select, you always have this little pencil icon. And here I can always choose to do a drop down of my school locations if I want, or even some multiple choice or text boxes. If I decide I don't want to gather this information on my form, I can always delete this. Or if I don't want this to be required, I could also toggle that off. Now, as I scroll down, you might be thinking, well, this looks like a pretty big form. There's a lot of information that she's going by. Now, because we had pre-hidden those questions, when I go ahead and preview my form, you can see it's actually pretty short. I just want to know the name of the person who's submitting, their email address. Here's that information of what they're sharing about, what they're sharing about in the description. And then for this district, or for if you choose to use this, we said that this person submitting gives consent to go ahead and share this submission if we want to share it on social media or somewhere else. So this form's now ready and good for me to go. I can use it as is, or I can customize it if I want. I showed you how to make those tiny, small little tweaks. You could also come in and add a whole different question if you had one. But for me, this is ready to go. So I can go back to the top and assign the topic that this is going to be part of. And now I know it's ready. I'm going to go ahead and save. And go ahead and continue. So now this is ready for me to go ahead and use. Now, before we get into the gratitude campaign, and I show you a few other tricks, I want to know, have any of you run one in the past? I think I saw some districts come on that I know have. Maybe you run one year round. Maybe you run one just for the holidays. If you have, Olivia's going to pop up a poll, and I'm just kind of curious to know, who kind of are we talking about? Yes, annually we run one. Yes, it's always up. No, not yet, which is great, because if you haven't, perfect. We'll be sharing something new to talk about. Awesome. Okay, actually, it looks like most of you. Yep, we have a few of you. I was going to say, I think there's a few of you that I know either always have one up or do an annual one. But for the most part, no, which is great, because then we're going to, hopefully most of us learn something new today. So the great thing about never doing one of these, I'll show you some tips and tricks to simplify this, is the holidays are a great time to launch one of these, because let's be honest, it's the time of year where there seems to be a lot of razzle dazzle out there. You feel as though everybody's nailing it. You're seeing the perfect pictures on Instagram. Everybody's got their matching PJs. Seems as though everybody's having their best time. But in reality, it can feel kind of draining and stressful, especially for our staff. They're trying to wrap up that first half of the year. They're trying to get everything done because they want to enjoy a little bit of break. And then also behind the scenes, we're juggling a busy family life. We have parties to attend, presents to wrap, that holiday magic that we're supposed to make come alive, special meals to plan and prep. It can be a lot. So this is not meant to be one more thing to put onto your plate. This is meant to create a moment to sprinkle in a little joy and magic for those who work so hard to serve our children in our community. So for that simple campaign, I recommend going ahead, using this. Let's go ahead and say done. Use that share good news. You can actually rename that form. You can actually rename that form, so you can call it Holiday Magic. You can call it a kudos campaign. You can call it Share the Love. You can call it whatever you want. We have that set up. And then from there, you can even create a workflow. These are these little tricks that I recommend doing. Here I have my Share Good News. So when somebody goes ahead and nominates somebody, that's going to come into this topic. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to straight close it out. I don't need to respond to the customer, let them know that I have it. And I'm even going to disable that feedback form. They're just sending me my nomination. I don't really need to be having any sort of back and forth with them. With my success messages, I'm going to let them know like, hey, thank you so much for your submission. Here I have my custom Share Good News. I'm going to let them know that I have received it, and I'm going to let them know when it's going to be shared out. So in case they're following up, maybe it's a teacher nominating another teacher, then they know that, hey, all of these are going to be shared on Wednesday, December 18th, as we close out before the start of break. And then on top of that, I can even create a saved search. So it's easy for me to find these when it's time for me to share these out. So what I'm going to do is come into my dialogues. If you've never been into advanced search, this is your friend. A lot of times districts don't even know that this exists. They just think this search bar means advanced search. Nope, go ahead and click on that. It's going to pull up some options. Under my assignment information, I can even select my topic. So let's go ahead and do Share Good News. There it is. Now I think we only have one in here, so don't judge us. We have this one that's been created. Idris Elba went ahead and sent us a great thing. I can now go ahead and save my search right from here. If I want, I can download when I'm ready, but I'm going to save because I want to come back to this throughout my campaign. I'm going to save this. And now you see on my left-hand side, this Share Good News Save Search came up. So when I'm ready, let's say it's December 14th, I know that we're closing out and I want to be able to share all these dialogues. I can come right back here, click my Share Good News, and then now I know that I can just straight download these when it's ready. I can choose how I want to have it in a CSV, Excel, or Word, and then how I want to share it out. It makes it really easy for you to do this. Now, for this to work, you have to make sure that you tell people about it. So always recommend just doing a few social media posts, remind your parents in a newsletter. You don't have to completely blow this out of the water, just a simple way to be sharing some love this holiday season. Now, I do want to show you two examples in real life, in case you're wanting to know how other districts are doing this. Round Rock blows this out of the water and they do this year round. They have a dedicated landing page to this. You do not need to make it as in-depth as this, but if you're thinking that this is something that could help build morale and spread cheer at your district, having it year round could be great. They have a custom form that's built. This is one of our previous custom forms from our engineers, but you'll notice this looks just like the one that's inside of Let's Talk that's already pre-built. And then their HR team is the team that manages these. So as they come in, the HR team goes ahead and shares them out with their employees. Now, Round Rock is a very large school in Texas, but we have a small school, Craven, who they do same thing, offered year round, but it's really simplified. They have a whole category for Share Good News. They have a student shout out, a staff shout out, and a community shout out. And they've decided that, hey, I just want to use out of the box what we have, and it works for them. It's great. These dialogues come in and they're able to filter out as needed. So it can be as simple as adding a topic to your page or doing a whole website landing page if you like. Choice is yours. Don't overthink this. A lot of times you don't need that razzle dazzle. People just like to hear that they're being appreciated. I'm going to pause and see. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Olivia. Dropping some tricks in there. Let's hop back into our platform and chat through our second trick or treat, which is the chatbot. So like I said, if you're not already using the chatbot, now is a great time to use it. It's been a huge time saver for our districts who have launched it. Their communities are loving the option to get that 24-hour support quickly and accurately. And it is included with your Let's Talk subscription. So there's no added charge to this. It's a fantastic tool to be launching for free and adds a ton of value. So let's first get into our trick. I'm going to head back into my settings. And this is a release that went kind of under the radar, and it's our chatbot comparison report. So I'm heading into my channels down to my Let's Talk Assistant. And here is where I have my reports tab. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click Generate Completeness Report. And it's going to pull up a whole new page for you, let you know that it's going. You can download this and you'll be able to see it tick through. Now, through the magic of TV, I have already downloaded this for us to take a look at. So once it's generated, the report is going to include two tabs, your full report and your summary report. The full report contains the question category, the question, and then the answer from the chatbot. Now, the answer from the chatbot is specific to your district. And then it's going to let you know, does your resource have an answer? Yes or no. So these questions that you're seeing under category C are based off of the top questions that we see asked. So these are not questions that your specific chatbot is being asked. You would see those in your optimization report. And this list right here is going to be the same for everybody on this call. This is for us to just know on a national level, how is your chatbot doing with what we're seeing being asked? Some of these might not even apply to your district, and that's okay. You know your district best. If you do not offer pre-K, but it's one on here, nothing for you to do, just to make that mental note of, hey, it's okay that my district isn't answering these because that's not a service that we offer. So just know that as you're going through. So again, these questions are not ones that are being asked to your chatbot. These are ones that we as a nation see the top ones being asked. Next up, we have our summary report, and this is going to give you more of that numerical data detailing how well each category is performing. So this data can be used to identify content to upload to your resource center, just like your full report, to make sure that you're giving that accurate and comprehensive chatbot. So I can see up here with academics, I have a total of 2 questions in my full report. One of them is being answered, so I'm hitting this at a 50% success rate. But when it comes to, let's see, registration, I have 3 questions in here. 3 of mine are being answered, so I'm hitting this at a 100% rate. So I might want to go through, I see that 71% of total are being answered. I feel like that's pretty great. Maybe that's exactly where my district needs to be. Or you're looking at this saying, oh gosh, I really do have some room for improvement. Looks like when my report cards are distributed isn't being answered, but I know that that lives on a website or has a resource that I can easily add into. So use this to help identify those gaps to better serve your community. Next up for our treat is we're going to hop back into our Let's Talk Assistant under channels. And this is how you can now make multiple chatbot profiles in your account, meaning that this feature can now create school or department specific versions of the chatbot. So this customization enables more tailored and relevant responses for different areas within a school district. So I have districts that are using this internally for employees and having an employee only chatbot. They're using it in HR, both internally for one chatbot and externally for another chatbot. They're launching it for student services, for enrollment, for school sites, etc. You can use it kind of however you'd want. To add a profile, I'm just going to scoot over one right from reports and click on here. Now, resources, when you're adding them, will be added to your default profile. And all of these down below are additional profiles that we've created. If you know you're ready to get started, just simply click Add Profile. Let's call this one Technology. And then here I can select the resources that I'd like. So actually want to include technology. I don't want transportation. I don't want any of these other ones. I just need technology to come through for me. Unclick that. And now I'm all set. I'm going to go ahead and select save. And now it's been added down here at the bottom. When I'm ready to take this live, I'll head into my landing page tab editor. I'll select the specific profile page or tab that this is associated with. Let's just pretend this is part of Mac Elementary School that we're asking these. When it pulls up, I just go ahead and enable my Let's Talk Assistant. And here's now where I can pick my profile. So I can come down and select technology. And now I'm good to go to embed this. Now this embed code will only answer questions specific to those technology resources that I had put in. So it's a great option if you feel as though you need to start simplifying or using different profiles. I have a lot of districts that only use their default profile, and that's fantastic. But now this option is available to you if you need it. Hop back over and look at the chat. No questions. All right. We're going to head now into our last trick and treat, which is the phone and text section. So over here, back under our channels, keep going down. Right above Let's Talk Assistant is where we have our phone and our text. So we know that every touch point matters, and many school districts don't offer a clear and consistent way for parents to receive help, especially when it comes to those inbound phone calls and text messages. In fact, 1/3 of families surveyed by K-12 Insight found that when engaging with their school or district, they couldn't identify the right person for their question, resulting in them going to it caused significant administration overhead because they were going from person to person and not quite sure who to reach out to. So the nice thing with Let's Talk, as we know with our dialogues coming in, it's easy to streamline and to source these information to share them with each other. So every district gets 10 lines for free, and you can use these as we wish. I see districts launch a line for every high school that they just want to be able to take questions. I see districts launch this for reporting bullying. I have some districts that use these as attendance lines where parents can call in. They have SIS integrated and they can let them know, hey, Sharon's not going to be at school today. The choice is yours. And again, you get 10 lines for free. Each line can be used for phone or text or even both. And then the great thing is that everybody is logged into Let's Talk already. We're used to using it. You're no longer sharing those sticky notes around. You're no longer wondering, did Olivia answer that phone call that I sent her last week? I don't know. Everything is responded to and logged in Let's Talk. So if you've never been in here before with phone lines, it's going to look totally blank for you. What you would do to get this started is just request a number right here. When I click that, it's going to let me know that it's pending, and I can go ahead and give it a name. Sharon testing. Now here I can choose if I want my call routing, which we'll get into in a second. And if I'm going to do some texting, my feedback message, which we'll get into in a second. This alert is going to our engineering team. So they're going to receive this. They'll create the phone line from you, and your CSM will let you know when it's ready. We do our best to match the area code. That's exactly where your school district is. Sometimes those are totally full. So we'll pick one that's right next to, or we'll ask you like, hey, do you have a preference? But we would never pick an area code on the opposite side of the country. We'll do our best to get it as close to you as possible. The other nice thing is we can also port or forward numbers into Let's Talk. So if you're like, gosh, I would really love to utilize this, but so many parents already have our phone number saved in their phones, we can go ahead and transfer those over into Let's Talk. So you're still having it in here, but you're not having to create a whole new phone line. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this so that they don't know that it's coming through. Now, if you have a phone line in here, if you're seeing something, maybe you didn't know that you had one, or maybe you know that you did, but this looks a little bit different. You have your different phone lines that have been created. I can always click my little arrow to extend what's going on. Now, I do have full call center capabilities in here, so we're going to cruise over those and come back to them. But you have different things like your call routing, which is how you want to direct these. Again, this will look different if you have full call center or not. You should have the option for none, greeting, or queue. IVR will not happen unless you have call center. You can choose what the queue is, meaning who is the topic or people that this is going to go to. And then again, if I have my text line, what I want that automatic message to be if somebody texts in. Up here, you have your options. Again, a queue, think of it as what's the topic that you're assigning this to and who are the people who can answer this call. I'm going to skip over IVR because we'll come back to that. Greeting is as simple as it is, self-explanatory. This is what you hear when you call a number. So thank you for calling Model Community School District. We'll be with you in 1 second. Could be a greeting, or we are out of office today. We'll talk to you on Monday. Or texting, what is the automatic text message that when somebody comes in, think of it like a success message that they're going to receive. So if I text into the bond, the automatic reply I'm going to see over here is my bond reply that just says, thank you so much. We'll be back in touch with you shortly. Please include this information if you'd like us to get back to you in a timely manner. So that person could always text back and answer that. Now I did text in previously. We can go ahead and see. So here we have my information. It says Sharon Wilkinson. Here's my text message phone number. You can see that little icon, the bubble icon above, letting me know that this was texted in. I can open this. Now, the great thing with Let's Talk is that even though I texted in, I can even text back and just like before, reply to the customer and say, great, how can I help? And now if I send this is now going to send me a text message. Yep, and it just came through. So now I can text back and forth to have that conversation with Model Community School District to be getting those questions answered. I never had to open another app. I didn't have to pick up my phone to do this. It's all happening in one location. And then even if I need, I can tag in Olivia and say, can you help with this? So now she can go ahead and text the customer. Doesn't have to change. I can think it's coming from one person or not, or she can just help assist me with any questions as they're coming through. But it's all coming through this one location. Now, when I go to close, just like before, I have my option of if I want to send a feedback form or not, and I can still choose to send that and get that same feedback form via text. It's going to send me a text message asking me to fill it out, and I can still rate my experience. So it's a really easy way, especially with these millennials becoming parents who, like myself, I don't want to always pick up the phone and call somebody. I can text in my questions and just another easy access point for your customers. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is our call center. Make sure we get there. Let's head back over to our numbers. So this is an option that we recently launched where you can have a full call center capabilities through Let's Talk. Calls come in through an internet connection straight to your desktop browser. And this helps free up your hands and take notes and calls in real time versus having to hold on to the phone and you're writing on a piece of paper or trying to type with one hand. Can all be done in here. Now, Pasco County Schools down in Florida, they calculated that it took on average 6 phone calls to solve a single inquiry. But since launching Let's Talk with the call center, they've reduced that number to 1. So that is a lot of time and resources and hours saved by eliminating 5 phone calls. So we're back to our phone lines. In here, you can see, like I had said before, we have IVR and business hours. Now, IVR, what does that mean? IVR is interactive voice response. So that's when you call somebody and it says, press 1 for English, press 2 for Spanish, etc. That's IVR. You're choosing how you want that call to go. With call center, I also have my business hours. So I can choose when my phone lines are turned on or turned off. If I'm in transportation and only getting calls before and after school, I can then enable one of my greetings to say, hey, thank you so much for calling. We will resume our regular business hours at 2:30 p.m. today. We'll call you back then. Really helpful for your team to know that they can still offer that help and support, but without having to be logged on all the time. Now, there's so much that call center can do, and I am only going to barely scratch the surface with it to just give you some visuals and very high level. At the end, we'll ask if this is something you're interested in learning more about in our CSM. Your CSM can give you actually like a full demo of it. But for the sake of time today, we're just going to do very high level. So with Call center, a few other features just to know that we get asked a lot about are, can you do round robin? Meaning, can I have 5 agents log in and it's not always the same person answering? Yes, it can rotate between people. You can have multiple agents logged in at the same time. We can have calls, managers who listen into your calls. We can transfer to one another. We can barge in if there's an angry customer and you need to help. The really cool thing is going to be our dashboard, which I'll show you in a second. But first, I want to actually call in so you can see what this were to look like. So I'm going to call my model community school district. I have to get through my options. I'm going to select one. So if I'm just here, I'm hanging out, I'm in my Let's Talk. Oh, I got to turn myself on. Here we go. Turn myself on as an agent. Try again. I'm answering my dialogues, which is great. Other nice thing is I do have to be logged into Let's Talk, but I do not have to have this tab open. If you're like me and have a million tabs spread throughout your browser, you can always turn that off. So here we go. We have Tommy who's calling in. He is a parent guardian of Molly at Wilkinson High School. We have that SIS integrated, so I know who's calling me. I'm going to go ahead and with this call, here I have my dialogue. That's information. I'm going to hang up that call in case you guys are getting that echo. So what was happening was I was getting this call. I didn't know if it was echoing for you all, so I got a little nervous and hung up. But here a dialogue was created while I was on that call. I could go ahead and add in a description right here. So I could say that Tommy was calling about Molly not feeling well. She won't be at school tomorrow. So I can take these notes. Right here, I have my recording of the call. So in case I need to go back and listen to it, I can. Right down here, it's letting me know how long I was on the call with him. But let's say that I was like, oh, shoot, I needed to ask him another question. I can call him back right here from this dialogue. So I can click this phone. It's going to go ahead and let me make this call. Call him right here. It's going to ring through on my phone. And then it would go ahead and log that in this as well. So everything is being done in this one place, which is so, so valuable and so helpful as you're in a school district that's taking on so many calls. So if this is something that you are needing help with, have this in the back of your mind. Last thing I want to show you is the dashboard for call center. This has so much detailed information so that you can know, do I need to be hiring more people? How many phone calls are we getting? How many calls is your district getting that you don't actually know about, that this isn't being recorded? Here with this dashboard, you can now know. You can know how long are people calling us for? Do I need to up my information that's on the website? Or why are they calling? Are we not helping them? Do we need to launch the chatbot, etc.? So this is just from today. Our team was practicing earlier. You can see that we had 23 calls come in for an average of 12 seconds. Our average call time or average wait time is 12 seconds. Our average call time was almost a minute and a half. Down here, I can see, oh gosh, I had 5 calls abandoned. Do I need to maybe hire more agents? Is my IVR not routing correctly? What was going on? Looks like Sharon answered the most calls. What was Olivia doing? Why was she only available for 1? Here I have live data. So if there were calls that were going on, I could see how many calls were waiting, how many live calls were going on. We have some districts that use this like in transportation, that they actually project this page right up here on TVs in their transportation center to know who's on the phone right now, who's in the queue, where are we at, where can we be directing these. They're using these in real time. I can see that I'm available and Misha's available, but maybe I know that Olivia's available, so I need to turn her on. Or maybe Misha walked away from her desk and I need to make her unavailable, so no calls are going through to her. With my call details, I can even expand this to know who recently called, who was the agent. So Sharon handled this one, but gosh, with this one, it was abandoned. Why was that abandoned? You can gather all of this rich data to better know what's going on with your questions. So Gabrielle, great question. Can they leave a message that turns into a dialogue? Yep, absolutely. So if I had called through and I did not answer that phone call, it would be turned into a dialogue. And with that queue that we had set up, it would go to the correct topic that somebody had asked. So here you can see we've had a lot of phone calls come in today. You can see those little phone icons right here. Here's one right here is a great example of just straight up voicemail that came in. Here we go. We could listen to this voicemail if we wanted. We could add any description that's coming through. Looks like this came through for our lunch menu. So somebody had a question about that. I could always reassign my topic if they actually had a question on something else, but just called the wrong number. But everything can be done from right here, just like with our regular dialogues, which is so, so helpful. Or if somebody comes in and you say, hey, I actually need you to listen to this dialogue. Can you help? I'm not quite sure how to answer. Then you're not trying to relay a conversation that you had. It's all nice and recorded and in here. So this was very high level of what these things can do. Our CSMs, we just went through a training today. We'd be more than happy to show this to you. So Olivia's gonna launch one more poll to ask, would you like to learn more? If yes, I'm interested. I want the full demo. I want to go deeper than what Sharon did. Yes. Maybe like not right now, but maybe in the future. Or like, hey, no thanks. You know what? We're actually all set. This is helpful for us too. So if you answer yes, please, I'll have your CSM get in touch with you. They'll be able to show you this. If you said, maybe in the future, then keep that in mind and we can always show that to you as well. Yes, Lisa. So absolutely. This will be sent out tomorrow, the recording with the notes and resources for you to check out too. But yes, absolutely. Thanks, Lisa. So that actually is a good transition to last of today. Gonna announce our last office hours for 2024. Holy moly, this year flew by. So in 2024, we rolled out more new features and updates than any year in the past. We did some major releases that you know about, like launching our chatbot, but there were some other small little time savers that you might not have known we launched. They went on behind the scenes and they can help you, or maybe you've said, gosh, I wish that this happened. Like I had a district ask me yesterday, when are we getting spell check? And I said, you know what? It actually launched over the weekend. So we're going to go over some of those and I'll give you a little sneak peek into what's coming in 2025. On top of that, as we celebrate the end of 2024, we'll be raffling off 4 $25 Amazon gift cards to our attendees. So if you are looking like you could use a little extra Christmas money, show up and that might help. Go ahead and sign the QR code to sign up now. We'll also be sending out an email reminder as we get closer. So as always, thank you so much for joining today. I love hosting these. Hopefully you found this valuable and there was something new that you learned. If you have any questions or comments whenever we wrap, my door is always open. You don't have to reach out to your designated CSM. You can always reach out to me as well. And I'm happy to help you if you can, or direct you in that right way.